Warning: avoid getting stuck at the bottom. Lake levels are high. The only way out is up. Rescue costs $3,000. That is the sign that greets you at one of Michigan's most beautiful and most dangerous hiking spots. And every single year, dozens of people ignore it. What if I told you there's a hike in America where going down is the easy part? It takes just 2 minutes, but coming back up can cost you $3,000 and 2 hours of pure agony, where people who have climbed actual mountains have failed, or even CrossFit junkies tap out halfway. I'm talking about Overlook 9 at the Sleeping Bear Dunes in Michigan. It looks innocent from the top, just 450 feet of sand between you and Lake Michigan's crystal blue water. But this dune has broken spirits, emptied wallets, and required so many emergency rescues that it's now more dangerous than some trails at Yellowstone. Today, we're diving deep into why this deceptively brutal hike has cost people thousands, how rescue teams use 1,400 feet of rope and pulley systems to save stranded hikers, and what you absolutely need to know before you even think about going down. Because trust me, what looks like a YouTube opportunity could turn into the most expensive mistake of your life. Let's get into it. All right, so let's set the scene. You're visiting Sleeping Bear Dunes National Lakeshore, voted the most beautiful place in America, by the way, the Pier Stalking Scenic Drive. You pull into the parking area for Overlook Number 9. It's a short walk from your car, maybe 200 feet to the edge, and then you see it. 450 feet below you, that's a 45-story building, by the way. Lake Michigan stretches out in every direction. The water is that perfect turquoise blue. The beach at the bottom looks pristine and empty. The sand dune is steep, sure, but it's just sand, right? And here's where your brain starts making calculations. I could run down that in like 2 minutes, get some epic photos, cool off in the lake, live my best life. How hard could it possibly be to walk back up? Famous last words. Because going down, yeah, it's actually fun. You're bounding down the sand, gravity's on your side, you're making great time. Some people even bring sleds or cardboard to slide down. 2 minutes, just like you thought. You're at the bottom. You're jumping in Lake Michigan. You're making those YouTube videos. Life is good. And then you turn around. Suddenly, that 450 feet looks very, very different from the bottom. The angle seems steeper. The sand that was so fun to run down is now working against you with every single step. You sink backwards, your calves start burning immediately. Scott Tucker, the superintendent of Sleeping Bear Dunes, put it perfectly. If you typically take the elevator at the shopping mall rather than the stairs, maybe you should find a smaller piece of dunes to explore. Let me read you some actual comments from people who've attempted this. I can bike 50 plus miles a day with 25 plus pounds of cargo and wasn't able to make it up that dune. I made a mistake as a teen running to the bottom. I was fit and it still took over an hour and questioning my life. 2 years ago, I tried and failed to climb these dunes. Since then, I've traveled across the country. I've climbed mountains. I've hiked through the desert and swamps. Clearly, it has amounted to nothing because I once again failed to climb these dunes. This person climbed the mountains and still couldn't do it. Here's what makes it so brutal. Every step is only about half a step because you're sliding backwards in the sand. It's like walking in a foot of snow, but worse because sand is shifty and unstable. Your feet sink, your legs burn, the sun is beating down, and by the way, that sand can reach 150 degrees Fahrenheit on hot days. Most people, they take between 45 minutes and 2 hours just to climb back up, and that's if they make it. So what happens when you can't make it back up? This is where that 3,000 warning becomes very, very real. Chief Brian Ferguson of the Glen Lake Fire Department has been doing these rescues for 12 years. He's done over 100 of them. And let me tell you, these aren't your typical emergency calls. The Glen Lake Fire Department has set up 3 tiers of rescue charges based on what's required. Tier 1, the easy rescue, around $675. This is when water levels are low enough that rescue crews can actually drive an ATV down the beach from a nearby village to where you're stranded. They bring you food, water, maybe give you a ride back. Relatively simple. Tier 2, the medium rescue, around $2,000. This is when they need to send personnel down on foot with supplies and equipment. Multiple people, more time, more resources. Tier 3 is the full pulley system, up to $3,000. This is the big one. When someone is injured, broken legs, severe heat exhaustion, can't physically move, the fire department has to deploy what's called an advanced rescue. We're talking multiple fire personnel, 1,400 to 1,500 feet of specialized rope, complex pulley systems, sometimes coordination with the Coast Guard, hours of work. And here's something most people don't realize. That rope, it's not cheap. It costs a few dollars per foot to replace, and the sand, which is essentially tiny pieces of glass, destroys it. After a few rescues, they have to replace the entire thing. Chief Ferguson says it gets real expensive real quick. But here's what really blows my mind. In 2014, before they implemented major prevention programs, Sleeping Bear Dune had 47 rescue operations in a single year, more than Yellowstone National Park, Olympic National Park, or Glacier National Park that same year. 47 rescues at a single dune in 1 year. In fact, a national park study ranked Sleeping Bear Dunes as the 13th worst in the country for search and rescue operations out of more than 100 national parks. Only places like the Grand Canyon were worse. And here's the kicker. During peak summer in 2016, 2017, and 2018, they were getting almost one 911 call per day from this single location. Think about that. Every single day, someone was getting stuck on this dune. And every time a rescue happens, it's not just expensive, it's dangerous for the rescuers too. They're hauling equipment down a 450-foot sand dune. They're operating in extreme heat. They're putting themselves at risk. Plus, here's something Superintendent Tucker pointed out. When rangers and firefighters are doing a dune rescue, they're not available for other emergencies, real emergencies, house fires, car accidents, medical crises. So when someone ignores the warning signs and runs down this dune anyway, they're not just risking their own safety and wallet, they're potentially taking emergency resources away from someone who might desperately need them. And about that $3,000 bill, Chief Ferguson said they can legally charge it and there's no legal requirement that forces people to pay. And guess how many people actually pay? Less than half. Ferguson said they have to sign a form at the top that says they will pay the rescue fee, and most of the time they're shocked at the cost. I guess they think they're on vacation and shouldn't have to pay it. That means the fire department, a public service that relies on tax dollars and donations, is eating thousands of dollars in costs because people didn't take a warning sign seriously. But here's where the program gets better, because the National Park Service and local community decided they had enough. In 2014, they launched a program called the Preventative Search and Rescue Program, PSAR for short, and it's genius in its simplicity. Here's how it works. Volunteers wearing bright orange shirts station themselves at the most dangerous spots in the park, the Dune Climb and Overlook Number 9. Their job? Talk to people before they make the decision to go down. They're not there to stop you. They're not park police. They're just friendly, knowledgeable people who want to make sure you understand what you're getting into. One volunteer during a 2-hour shift at Overlook Number 9 talked to 81 people who were planning to go down the dune. After hearing that reality of what they'd face, all 81 decided not to risk it. Another 51 people he talked to decided to chance it anyways, but at least they went down prepared with water, proper shoes, and realistic expectations. And the results? Absolutely stunning. Jesse Lewitt, the PSAR coordinator, said they connected with over 25,000 visitors last summer alone. Think about that impact. These volunteers ask simple questions. Do you have water? If not, go back to your car and get some. Are you wearing appropriate shoes? Flip-flops won't cut it. Have you eaten recently? Low blood sugar plus physical exertion equals disaster. Do you know how far it actually is? It's not just down and up. The climb can take 2 hours. And people are grateful for this advice. One volunteer said people are generally really receptive to our advice and thankful there's somebody to save them the trouble of getting lost out there. Rangers have literally sent entire families back to their parking spots to grab supplies. They've talked people out of physical risks they weren't confident about. The park has also completely redesignated their warning signs. The old ones were meant to blend in with the scenery, subtle, not intrusive. Know what Park Ranger Andy Blake said about the new signs? It's going to be in your face, and this is serious. Because subtle wasn't working. People need to know this isn't a joke. This isn't an overreaction. This is a legitimate danger that has cost people thousands of dollars and required hundreds of emergency rescues. Okay, so despite everything I've just told you, maybe you're still thinking, I want to do this. I want that experience. Fair enough. It's a free country. The park is public land. You have every right to attempt this. But, and this is a big but, if you're going to do it, here's what you need to know. Drink water before you start. Don't wait until you're thirsty. Bring at least one full water bottle per person, preferably two. Pack salty and sweet snacks, trail mix, energy bars, something substantial. Consider bringing electrolyte drinks like Gatorade. Rangers have found dehydrated people at the bottom who brought zero water. Don't be that person. Wear or bring proper shoes. The sand can reach 150 degrees. Burns are real. Some people swear by going barefoot for better traction, but bring shoes in a backpack just in case. Loose fitting, light colored clothing helps with heat. Wear a hat. The sun is relentless on that exposed dune. Avoid midday when the sun is strongest and the sand is hottest. Early morning or late afternoon are your best bets. Check the weather forecast. High heat or storms make this exponentially more dangerous. Be honest with yourself about your fitness level. If you take the elevator at the mall instead of stairs, this might not be for you. Recent injuries, respiratory issues, think twice. There's no shame in turning back if you're struggling. Tell someone where you're going and when you expect to be back. Bring a fully charged phone and know that cell service can be spotty. Here's a pro tip that rangers share. If you do go down and you're struggling to come back up, you don't necessarily have to climb straight back up the way you came. You can walk along the beach toward the town of Empire where there's a more gradual access point. It's longer distance-wise, but way less steep. This can save you from needing a rescue. But honestly, if you want the Sleeping Bear Dune experience without the risk, there's better options. The official Dune climb. This is near Glen Lake and it's designed for climbing. It's steep and sandy. You'll definitely get a workout, but it's safer, more accessible, and you can turn around anytime without being trapped. North Bar Lake. Beautiful Lake Michigan access without the death-defying descent. Other overlooks along Pierce Stockton Drive. Spectacular views without the commitment. You can get 90% of the beauty with 0% of the rescue bill. So why does all of this matter? Why spend 15 minutes talking about one dune in Michigan? Because this story is about more than just an expensive hike. It's about respecting nature. It's about understanding that beautiful places can be dangerous places. It's about the real people. Firefighters, rangers, volunteers who have to risk their own safety when we make poor choices. It's about a community that saw a problem and came together to solve it. Instead of just putting up more warning signs and hoping for the best, they created a volunteer program that's actually working. Sleeping Bear Dunes is incredible. Nearly 1 million people visit every year. The vast majority have amazing, safe experiences. They see some of the most beautiful landscapes in America. They make memories that last a lifetime, but it requires something from us as visitors: awareness, preparation, and humility. Nature doesn't care about your fitness level or your confidence. That sand dune doesn't care if you ran a marathon last year. It's going to be brutal regardless. Preparation means doing your homework, bringing the right gear, understanding what you're getting into. And humility means being willing to say, you know what, this isn't for me today, or I need to turn back, or maybe I should listen to that ranger in the orange shirt. That sign at the top of Overlook Number 9 isn't there to challenge you. It's not reverse psychology. It's a genuine warning on hundreds of rescue operations and countless stories of people who thought they could handle it. The question is, are you going to listen? So there you have it. The full story of Michigan's $3,000 dune. The most beautiful place in America, which comes with one of the harshest price tags if you're not careful. Before you go, I want to hear from you. Have you been to Sleeping Bear Dunes? Did you attempt Overlook Number 9? What was your experience? Drop your stories in the comments. I read every single one. And hey, if you found this video valuable, if you learned something new about respecting our national parks, do me a solid favor and subscribe. I'm Patrick, and I make videos about outdoor adventures, hidden dangers, and beautiful places, and the story behind America's most incredible destinations. This is Lovely Adventures, and thank you for watching.